You know, it's kind of funny. Sometimes the simplest words, the ones we use every single day, are hiding these huge, fascinating ideas right under our noses. Today, we're going to crack one of those open and see just how deep it goes.
All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to start with a word that you probably use all the time. I mean, we all think we know it backwards and forwards.
And that's the real question, right? How well do you really know it? Because, and this is the cool part, the answer is way deeper than you'd think. It actually tells us something really important about how we communicate. So, what's the word?
It's sign. Yup, that's it. Just sign. Seems pretty simple, right? A word you see and use every single day. But is it really that simple?
So, if we look at our source, the Simple English Wiktionary, it gives us the first, most obvious meaning. As a noun, a sign is just a flat thing with a few words or pictures on it to tell people something. You know, like a stop sign or the sign on a coffee shop. Super simple, super clear. I mean, look at that definition. It's just beautiful in its simplicity.
But wait, there's more, right? Because it's also a verb. To sign something is to write your signature on a piece of paper. You know, you sign a lease, you sign a birthday card. So, okay, one word, two totally different, but common meanings, easy enough. But this is where things get really interesting.
See, buried in the notes for this one little word is a tiny clue. Just one sentence. But this sentence, it completely flips the script. It takes this simple word and uses it to unlock a massive idea about language for real.
And here it is. This is the whole ball game right here. The source says, and I quote, cyanine is on the basic English 850 list. Bam. That one sentence is pretty much the entire reason we're talking about this today, which, of course, leads to the big question, what on earth is the basic English 850 list?
Well, that list is the heart of a whole system called Basic English, and it is a really fascinating concept. It's this powerful tool that was designed for one thing and one thing only, making communication crystal clear. And the magic number behind it all is 850. That's the key. Basic English is basically a stripped-down, super efficient version of English that's built on a core vocabulary of just 850 words. That's it. Now, you might be thinking, doesn't that limit what you can say? But actually, it's the total opposite. The whole point was to create a simple vocabulary that anyone, anywhere in the world, could learn pretty easily. But, and this is the genius part, it's still powerful enough to let you talk about really complex stuff, clearly, and without getting your wires crossed. Okay, so let's connect this all back to where we started. Our humble little word, sign. How does looking at sign with this whole basic English idea in mind actually show us how it works? Okay, let's look at those definitions one more time. The noun, a flat thing with words or pictures on it. The verb, to write your signature on it. Did you notice something? The words used to define the word sign are themselves super simple, common words. It's a perfect little example of the whole basic English idea right there in action. It's like a tiny, self-contained loop of clarity. So what's the big takeaway here? I mean, why should we care about this old system and a simple dictionary entry? Well, it's because it shines a huge spotlight on something we often forget, the amazing power of just being simple and clear when we talk to each other. And look, the main point isn't that we should all suddenly start using only 850 words. Of course not. It's the idea behind it that's so powerful. The idea that by deliberately using simpler language, you can actually make it easier for people to understand you. You're not dumbing it down, you're opening it up. You know, think about trying to explain something technical to a friend. All that jargon just confuses people, right? Simple words, they build a bridge so you can actually connect. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. In your own life, at work, with your family, in your hobbies, what's one complicated thing that you could explain in a much simpler way? What walls could you break down just by choosing simpler words? It's a pretty powerful idea, right? And it all started with just taking a closer look at the word sign.